Hey yo, what is going on, everybody? Hey yo, how's it going? How's it going? Cheers, cheers. Good morning. Hey, 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 what's up? Alfonso, Sean, XRP, 1000, Miyagi, Young Crypto, what's up, what's up? Hey, I didn't know if I'd get to actually do this. I was pretty slammed today, so I didn't say I was going to do it, but here we are. Hey, what's up? Hey, here we are. I think the sound just went off on their videos, so we're just waiting for their AMA to start, I suppose. How are y'all feeling? Whoa, whoa, yo, what's up? Something clever. How's it going? What do you guys think they're going to talk about? What are you guys excited about? Hey yo, what's up? Cheryl, how are we feeling this afternoon? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hey, from France. Whoa, what's up? My sound is low? Okay. Let me turn it up. Yo, 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 yo. How about now? How about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, exactly. Excited to see anything, honestly. Excited to see any news at all. What happened to their background track? Did it stop? Yo, yo, what's up? What's up? How's it going? I just stole you away from your channel, from the other channel? No big deal. No big deal. What's going on? You dropped some memes today? Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I can't wait. Win Brad. Win Brad. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. Hey, you not good morning. You're not having a good morning. That sounds rough. Tell me more. What's going on with you? Still sounds muttered, huh?
See if I can get the sound to come through my computer. Yo, 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 hey, hey. Way louder. Too loud? Is it too loud? Tell me more. Tell me more. Now we're way too loud. Now we're way too loud. Okay, hey, wait. Right about there. How's that? How's that? How about right there? Oh boy, here it goes. What's gonna happen? Something's happening. You just got out of a meeting. That sounds good. You're done with the meeting. You're done. You're done now. You're done. That's right. That's right. Hey, what's up? XRP Grind. Hey, yo. Diane, what's up? What's up? Luke, how's everyone feeling today? You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this AMA? This is going to be popping off. This is going to be hot. It's going to be a hot one. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I don't know exactly what they're going to say or discuss, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, their music's back. They put their music back. You need to sleep, but it's too exciting. I know. Bro, I know. Tell me more. I can relate. I can relate to this story. Sleep? Watch more XRP videos. That's right. You know who I just watched the other day? I've never watched his videos, but I know you guys like him, so I checked him out. Was the digital investor, I think. He's the one that has that like really southern drawl or whatever. I gotta say, I really like his voice. I don't know if it's just his voice or what. I was like, this is great. This is great. I can't even do his voice. Y'all know, I can't even do his voice without making it sound bad. But yeah, digital asset investor. I just watched one of his videos for the first time. The other day, someone asked me like who I like to watch, and I was like, man, I don't get to watch anybody. I never get to watch anybody because I'm so busy. But someone was telling me, I think someone tweeted like, everyone sucks other than digital asset investor. I was like, who is digital asset investor? I went and watched one of his videos. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I just like his voice, I think. I just like his voice. Y'all like him too? Okay, very cool. Very cool. You know, you guys can like whoever you want. I don't care. DM logic is decent. Cool. All right, all right. It takes a while to make a point. I kind of feel like if you're watching DAI, is what you guys are calling them. If you guys are watching DAI, I feel like you kind of want that though, right? You kind of want to. Oh, here we go.
Ask Me Anything with Garlinghouse.
Here we go.
Good to be here. I'm glad to be here as well. Let's just kind of get a general state of how things are at Ripple, your Ripple headquarters in San Francisco. But Ripple headquarters all over the world. There are now, actually. And they're teaming. So,
Can you guys hear that? Super soft.
the industry and this Ripple company. Right. So how has the general, call it blockchain, digital asset industry done thus far this year?
I think if you look at the state of the industry, in some ways, I would have predicted 2018. And someone probably has quoted me at some point in the last year saying, I thought 2018 would be the year of the institutions kind of really getting involved in a big way in crypto. And I think in some ways, the industry has underperformed where I would have predicted. And there's some good reasons for that. I think one of them is institutional custody of digital assets is not quite where it needs to be to really at scale address that.
Hugely important if you want a lot of money in the sector.
Hugely important. And I think some of the regulatory questions that have emerged during the course of 2018 has probably slowed things down a bit. Now, that being said, I think it does tee us up for some strength in the back half of the year, and certainly 2019 as some of those institutional solutions come online, as we see, I think, continued progress in regulatory clarity. So
I have to say, all the events that I go to all over the world, people are still sticking by their January predictions. So what you're saying here is sort of an acknowledgement that I think other people have not yet acknowledged.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people thought 2018 was the year of the institution. And there are examples, we can talk about later on in the conversation, but, backed a new exchange being championed by ICE, which
Whoa. Sorry, guys.
is coming in. I just thought 2018 probably would have, by this time in 2018, we would have seen more.
By comparison, what's happening in Ripple?
I mean, Ripple has had the best year we've had for sure by a long shot. In Q2, we had talked publicly in Q1, we signed over one customer per week, one production contract per week. In Q2, that was 2 production contracts per week. So great progress, great momentum, and great growth. And that's not that surprising, right? They're joining a network. The value of the network is equal to the square of the nodes on the network, Metcalfe's law. And the value of the network is becoming more valuable, so we have more customers plugging in and more customers getting excited about joining that journey.
But that said, I mean, there's still a lot of headwinds that haven't been resolved that look like there might be regulation among them.
For sure. And I think, it's a good thing that we've seen clarity from the SEC that Bitcoin's not a security. It's a good thing they've said Ether's not a security. I think there's still work to be done there. You've seen other governments around the world be a little bit more assertive and clear, and that has, I think, catalyzed more investment in other markets around the world. The Abu Dhabi Global Markets came out and very clearly said XRP is not a security, and to me that we've been saying that, and certainly on the AMAs we've done previously, it's very clear to me that XRP is not a security.
So, are there some announcements that you've seen from other big participants in major money centers and looking at this world of digital assets that you think are important, or do you think it's just all a lot of like press release and paperwork?
I'm going to cheat and answer your question in 2 different ways. One is I'm going to talk about an announcement that Ripple has made pretty recently. We had 2 really exciting, really 3 people changes happen since we last did one of these. And one is David Schwartz, who had been our chief cryptographer, took over as the chief technology officer. I think many people were.
Definitely our chief tweeter as well.
He is very effective. David is a all-star. We're so lucky to have him as part of the team, and I think in his his new role as CTO. I'm already thrilled by that evolution. And thrilled to see what Stefan Thomas, our old CTO, is doing with Coil.
We've launched a new company that's using XRP as a base technology as well.
Correct. We also announced Ethan Beard is joining the team and Kahina Van Dyke. Ethan to focus on Spring and Kahina to focus on Corp Dev and Biz Dev. Both all-stars with outstanding resumes and deep experience. And I couldn't be happy about that. It helps me scale. It helps the whole company scale and kind of make progress.
And so it's the Facebook DNA, interestingly.
Yeah, both of them have spent time at Facebook, and Ethan spent time at Google, working in the early days on the Android platform. So both, incredibly credible people. But your question was more broad.
Well, the announcements others are making.
Yeah. I mean, one of the announcements that has happened pretty recently, I found very interesting. I think a positive sign, even though I think maybe we haven't made as much institutional progress in 2018 as I would have forecast. The announcement from ICE and their planned exchange called Backed, with participation from a handful of participants, I think it's a big deal, and I think it's indicative of where the world is going. And I think we're going to see more players enter, and I think that's a good sign. That's indicative of the maturing of the industry. I have been fond of saying that we're still kind of that toddler stage, and we've got a ways to go. And as we see major participants enter the market, I think it's a big step forward.
It does seem like the barbarians are at the gate, right? You've got a Goldman announcement, and then we get a big picture in the New York Times with two guys with man buns, but you get the sense that they're about to do something. You get the sense that some of the major institutions are kind of lurking. When I go to these conferences and events, and I see all these Wall Street people talking about wanting to be more involved in the space, talking about solving for custody, some of the major financial institutions talking about crypto in ways, and digital assets, whatever you want to call it, in ways that's very different than they talked about it a year ago.
Well,
in fact, polar opposite.
I mean, one of the things I will tease for a future announcement, we'll do the Q3 XRP markets report, which we always share, where we're seeing institutional participation and buying XRP. Q3 will definitely be a record of institutional participation in buying and interest in holding XRP, and I think that is indicative of what you're saying. Again, I will also couch that with, I thought 2018 we would, as an overall industry, see more aggressive institutional participation, and I think it has taken a little bit longer than I would have guessed. I think that now I would predict that 2019, back to the railroad tracks. The railroad tracks are being laid. You're seeing very interesting companies get started to solve the institutional custody problem, as one example. And so I think that sets us up nicely for both the back half of 2018, but also 2019.
If you were to predict, would you think it's going to be the big boys setting up custody solutions, or do you think it's going to be startups that are recognizing that this is different in some way?
I think it'll start with the latter. I think there'll be, oftentimes the big boys react to what's happened in startups, and sometimes they acquire those to bring those capabilities in-house. I mean, even as you look at the digital asset exchanges, you've seen players globally, and now you're seeing something like Backed and ICE saying, ICE owns the New York Stock Exchange. They're diving in, and will they at some point partner or participate with other players, startup-y players in the space? Probably.
So I want to talk about David Schwartz, our CTO's post that he put up on our Insights blog today about this idea of decentralization. I thought it was a fascinating piece. It's something he's been talking about internally lately, with this notion that over time, XRP is becoming more decentralized, and interestingly, Bitcoin and Ether are becoming less decentralized.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you bring this up. One of the things when I talk about the maturing of the industry that I think has to happen broadly is there continues to be a lot of misinformation, and those that seem compelled to actually sing from the steeple tops things that they know not to be true. Or
it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I also think we're trying to be more proactive to dispel those things, and frankly to appreciate the work that many that are probably watching this are already doing to correct things that are said are just factually inaccurate. And so this post, I think, that David did this morning is profound and powerful, and I think it's very, very clear that XRP is decentralized today. It has only become more decentralized. Today there are 150 publicly known validators on the XRP ledger. Ripple only manages 10 of them, or about 7%. That's when people say to me, "Well, XRP is centralized." I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know where to start. It's not centralized. There is a centralized company called Ripple that is investing in the XRP ecosystem, and we are an interested party in seeing the success of the XRP ecosystem.
And there are many interested parties in the XRP ecosystem,
indeed.
and many companies developing on XRP.
what we're doing with Spring is an example of continuing to seek to foster that. We're working on a bunch of interesting deals in that space also.
But I think the reason we get the arrows is we're in a different position. We started earlier. We're further ahead. Others will certainly be here. Others may surpass us in XRP, using XRP as a technology to use. Who knows what they'll come up with?
Yeah. I also think there's a certain religious zealotry that is relatively unique to crypto that in my 20 years plus working in Silicon Valley, I haven't seen it quite this way.
But no one could go out and buy a piece of DNS, or no one could say, I'm a big believer in Betamax and I've put my grandma's savings into it.
You reference those things, a lot of people don't know what you're talking about.
I know, but that's my point. Is we've been around Silicon Valley, we've been around technology for a long time, but one of the interesting things that's different about digital assets is that people, the average person, has been able to make some investments on a technology, but I think including some, quote-unquote journalists who have bought a piece of the technology and therefore have an inherent bias against other new technologies.
Yeah, I think as we talked about, we're at the toddler stage. I think as we grow, it all comes back to, are we solving real problems for real customers? And, we get, and I would even say I'm guilty of this, I get kind of caught up in these almost esoteric debates that it's like, look, at the end of the day, are we solving a customer's problem? And are we bringing the right technologies to bear to do that? And Ripple's going to continue to focus on, are we solving real problems? We want to make sure that we're creating as transparent an XRP ecosystem as possible as one participant in that ecosystem. So we've been, I think, more proactive and more transparent than really any other major player in this space. There's a lot of people, people say, well, you guys own a lot of XRP. Well, we don't know how much Ether or some other people, major players, know. We just happen to be more transparent about that.
So you mentioned Spring. I also want to talk about the University Blockchain Research Initiative and why that matters.
Well, there's no doubt that one of the things we have focused on, and with Ethan joining, is expanding the developer participation in the XRP ecosystem. There are a couple things we have done. Obviously, Spring is one example. The second, as you mentioned, is we call it internally UBRI, University Blockchain Research Initiative, where we're making grants and pretty open to, we want to make sure that crypto and blockchain research and education is happening at universities globally. We've announced, I think, somewhere around 25 different universities that have participated, including the University of Kansas, my alma mater. And
here we go.
But, look.
And Bill Self himself will be working XRP?
We want to see.
What about NYU? What about my alma mater? They are not on the list.
They're not on the list. Not yet. We'll have to chat with them.
Taking care of my people, not at all. So, Swell is coming up.
Yes.
Swell's a big deal, I think, because we're really going to be focusing on our customers and what's happening. But why do we do Swell? Why is this important? I mean, kind of the gold standard maybe in enterprise world to me is always like Oracle World or Dreamforce for Salesforce.
Sure.
Swell is nowhere near that size of an endeavor with tens of thousands of people. But talking about why this is important to do.
Look, one of the things we've heard from our customers is they want to talk to each other, right? When you're participating in a network, you want to have participation in the network. And so we had heard from our customers they want to hear from us directly, but also talk to each other, such that you're stimulating that activity that is critical to building a network. So our inaugural event was last fall up in Toronto. This year we're hosting it here in San Francisco. Incredibly excited to have Bill Clinton, who's going to be our opening keynote.
Former president, I believe.
Former President Bill Clinton.
And a governor of Arkansas.
And I think that, from my point of view, what happened during the Clinton administration and the kind of the birth of the internet, we can debate whether Al Gore really invented the internet, but that was the birthing of a new technology.
He never said that.
That's debatable.
But Al Gore did not actually say that, but please.
It was the birthing of a new technology platform. Correct. And I think
the government could have screwed that up.
And the government did not screw it up, and that you saw on a global basis decisions made that really, it's amazing to think how far that technology platform how far it's impacted society in so many ways. I think that's going to be true in blockchain as well. Obviously, what we're doing in payments at Ripple is one example, but there's going to be a lot of others.
So this is an AMA. We get a lot of questions from people online. We've covered a lot of the stuff already, but I want to go through some of them. Some of them were really interesting. Some of them were really mean, and some of them were really silly. But again, Xrpcommunity going live. Is there a real hard time frame for that? What do you expect?
I mean, look, I think we've made incredible progress. It's been actually, I think, under a year since we announced the product. You know, I haven't been in Silicon Valley a long time. I think about, you know, how long does a new product take to be birthed and, you know, reach production scale. So in less than a year, we've gone, you know, live in a beta with the product. We went to pilots with multiple customers. We were able to publicly talk about some of those customers' savings experience, where, you know, they're seeing savings between 40 and 70%. We expect to continue to make, you know, progress towards the end of the year, and excited for you know, what we're going to be able to share between now and the end of the year.
Do you see a typical kind of customer for Xrpid that's more likely to use it than others? Is it more remittance companies? Is it more banks? Is it more big companies? Is it small companies? Is it existing corridors are efficient? Is it inefficient corridors where there's less volume?
Well, I think clearly the opportunity with Xrpid is in corridors with less efficiency. You know, I don't think that Xrpid solving a dollar-yen problem is going to be, you know, a short-term corridor. That's not to say it won't be, but it's simply what we're seeing and what we've publicly talked about with Coins PH as going into the Philippines, Mexico. Those are corridors where we see the demand and we see it solving a real problem.
It is interesting, though, that the four largest companies countries that accept remittances or getting remittances are India, China, Mexico, Philippines. And India and China aren't getting involved in anything, or mostly except for mining, and anything crypto related in a big sense. So the next two biggest acceptances of remittances are those countries where we're doing business.
And I think it's because there's demand there, there's a need there. You know, customers, whether they're payment providers or banks, acknowledge that there's a need there. And, you know, look, I've had conversations with some of the biggest banks in the world. I've had conversations with small banks. I am very optimistic that this is a product that solves a real problem, and I continue to, you know, be, you know, excited about the progress we're making. I'm an impatient person, so I always want to go more faster. But, you know, look, if you are solving that real problem, if it's really taking cost and friction out of the system, then, you know, people are going to take a serious look. And, you know, some of the stuff that, again, misinformation, people are like, oh, well, it's crypto. It's like, well, wait a minute, you're going from one regulated endpoint to another regulated endpoint. People talk about, well, the volatility risk of holding crypto for 3 seconds or 3 or 4 seconds in that XRP transaction. You know, these are kind of falsehoods. I mean, it's misinformation. You know, the volatility risk of holding crypto for a few seconds versus the volatility risk of holding fiat for 3 days.
Right.
There's less volatility risk of holding XRP because it's so fast and so efficient.
Right. The Turkish lira is generally a stable currency until it isn't.
It's not.
Yeah. Another question. Leaders. What great leaders have you seen that inspire you, or that you've sort of witnessed do great things?
You know, I'll highlight two for, you know, slightly different reasons. You know, one, I don't know if he knows this, but I think incredibly highly of Reid Hoffman. I think he has been a stalwart guy of Silicon Valley, and it's just, you know, his product is demonstrative of the big heartedness. Like, he is a connector, a networker, and I think having watched him for
founder of LinkedIn.
Yes, founder of LinkedIn, now on the board of Microsoft, and also a partner at Greylock Partners. I think incredibly highly of him as a leader. You know, he hasn't run as large of organizations. He handed off the reins to Jeff Weiner to run like LinkedIn. But another leader who I just have a lot of respect for is Sheryl Sandberg. Certainly, Facebook's had a complicated 2018, and I think, you know, the grace and execution there is the results are astounding. What they
it's a free cash flow machine.
It's astounding.
It's interesting too that both those companies I was around as a reporter in the very early days. I wonder, like, what sort of corollary to that, your experience being in Silicon Valley for so long. What do you think that adds to this, as opposed to being, you know, successful in some other kind of industry or some other environment?
Well, I believe, maybe, you know, self-servingly, that one of the reasons why we have enjoyed some success here at Ripple is because we've been very focused. And I think one of my experiences in Silicon Valley, and, you know, as you know, I became well known for something called the Peanut Butter Manifesto, where I think it's just a lot of companies, including the blockchain space, are spreading themselves too thin. And our focus and clarity of the problem we're solving and the customer we're reaching, I think, has catalyzed and really, you know, kind of accelerated the adoption that we're now seeing and enjoying, and the reason why I think Q2 is so strong for the company.
So you wrote that memo while you were at Yahoo, a company that was spreading itself too thin and couldn't get out of its own way, and ultimately couldn't get out of its own way. Can companies, once they've done that, fix that?
Was that a question that was written in?
No.
Okay, then let's skip it.
All right.
That's a hard one. I don't know. That's, you know, I'll quote Warren Buffett. most turnarounds don't turn.
100%. So you went through this trouble of putting on the socks. What's the story?
I got a fabulous new pair of socks from a couple members of the broader Ripple community, and I just wanted to show them off for a moment.
I will say, like, the fervor around this company is amazing out in the general populace. It's why we do this thing. It's why people watch this thing.
Absolutely. Well, look, I think anytime you're enabling a revolution, it takes a lot of participants, and I think it's great to have the participation from the community and the feedback and the questions, and I think we both appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your AMA. Thanks for watching this, our August AMA, Brad Garlinghouse, right here from Ripple headquarters in San Francisco.
Alrighty, that was sweet. Didn't really answer too much, but that's okay. No big deal. What's going on with this? I don't know what it's doing. Pause. Pause. Yo, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. So that was pretty cool. That was fun. Good times. Great oldies. No big deal. I was just trying to type out. Brad's like Jerry Maguire. You remember in the movie Jerry Maguire at the very beginning? He was like, yo, guys, we're doing it wrong. He wrote some like really sweet memo, and then they fired him. He was like, guys, we're doing everything wrong. Brad Garlinghouse is Jerry Maguire. He wrote that. He wrote like a memo like that. The Peanut Butter Manifesto. It's talking about how they're doing everything wrong. I don't know if he got fired or not, but kind of cool, kind of inspirational. Show me the money. Show me the money. That's right. So nothing too crazy. I don't know if that was yeah. XRP 1000 Bones is right. The memo is basically about the failure of Yahoo to buckle down and focus on one thing. Brad actually talks about that in some interviews, talking about spreading themselves too thin. Spreading themselves too thin. What we were expecting to get some answers out of? When Xrpcommunity? We didn't really see that. When Xrpcommunity? I think that's pretty much the biggest thing. When Xrpcommunity? Yeah, those are not Alex's socks. That was someone else on Twitter. Someone on Twitter basically sent him those. I saw him tweet back. I think he messaged the person. I remember the person that did it said he DM'd them back and said, thank you. Thank you for the socks. Yeah, it went down exactly how I thought it would as well. Jack Levy's right. No really big news, no big announcements. Now that the AMA is over, everyone's rushing to my stream to find out what the people know. What do you guys know? Tell us! Tell us! That's okay, Chellfire. You didn't really miss much. It was a typical PR move, AMA with Brad. He's got all those questions on lock. Just kind of, he probably just like flows through them like you drive home from work. No big deal. That's pretty exciting though that he's feeling so confident about where they're headed. Obviously, he said himself, they're a little behind. Oh, let's turn the microphone back down. He said they're a little behind where they thought that they'd be in this quarter, but that's obviously not surprising looking at what's happening, looking at all the decisions being held out on and made. Again, referencing he referenced the SEC talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum clear of being a security. I don't know if he knows the recent news that that's not true, or that's just kind of like speculation based off the employees saying that. So, an interesting time to see where we're headed, what's happening with that. Good AMA with Brad. I'm not really sure. What do you guys think? Perfect? It was a perfect AMA. Perfect AMA. Volume's still too low. You can't hear me right now? You guys can hear me or no? Smash the like button. That's right. Smash the like button, everybody. Just give me a like. I'll leave this video up so you guys can go watch it. The sound was really low on their end, so we tried to turn it up. I doubled up the volume on here. Hopefully it was loud enough. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Adam, that sounds legit. Adam, November 21st sounds like a perfect date to me. It's a perfect date. I will happily wait patiently for this date. For this November 21st, you're calling. Crypto Catherine says the AMA was good. Brad did just a tweet. Brad just did a tweet. What did Brad tweet out? Oh yeah, I was about to post something. What did Brad tweet out? I don't see any tweets. I don't see any tweets from Brad, brah. Brah, 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 brah. So, this article that basically they're talking about, published today on Ripple.com, the inherent decentralized nature of XRP Ledger. What does that mean, with David Schwartz breaking this down? This is a pretty long article, so we'll do like a whole video about this if you want. But it's a good read. I encourage you guys to read it on your own if you like. It's just kind of like a knowledgeable breakdown. One of the biggest parts of these developing technologies is education, about educating the consumer. If you look at like what really pulls something into the higher success rate, it's really timing and being able to have a strong team. So pulling things from what's been working with past companies, looking at David dropping knowledge like this all the time, pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. You're stuck in Houston traffic? You need good news. Let's go look and see if there's some afternoon news for you guys. Let's go do that. Going to read that? Yeah, it looks really good. I'm going to read it too. I might make a video about it. Let's just see if there's some Bitcoin news. Bitcoin news. Bitcoin will supplant gold as most trusted value. I just went to AutoZone. I was just at AutoZone to get some shopping done. You know, I just like to shop at AutoZone. I just like to go to AutoZone and do some shopping. Yeah, hey, thanks. Meowgi, drop that meme thread. Anybody doesn't know, we do meme giveaway every Saturday. Win XRP. Drop your memes in the thread. No big deal. I know I still have a lot of people that dropped memes last week I need to send XRP to, because I said every person that entered last week gets to win. Every person that entered last week gets a win, and I'll retweet your memes. So, what do you guys think about that? You want to win some XRP? Okay, we got this. Nothing really exciting here in the news for XRP. No, but when I was at AutoZone, I asked if they took Bitcoin, and he said, no. I said, bro, do you take Bitcoin? And he said, no, we'll never take Bitcoin. And I was like, are you sure about that, bro? And he was like, yeah, I'm sure. You'll never work. It'll never work. You'll never be able to buy something with Bitcoin. And I said, actually, I could buy something with Bitcoin right now using my BitPay card. And he was like, no, because then it's a credit card and not Bitcoin. And I was like, no. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. So what are we doing with the price? Everything's down. Bitcoin down to 6,369. Ethereum down to 268. XRP 32 cents. Bitcoin $519. The entire crypto market was down by about 4 billion, so it's at 205 billion a day, or now, and the BTC dominance is up 53.5%. Also, looking at any other news this afternoon. We've already covered this. Crypto world, Apple co-founder, looking at investing in crypto. This is interesting. You guys seen this? Bitmain founder Jian Wu, most important man in crypto. He's not flashy. He doesn't like photographs of himself. He doesn't post photographs of himself aboard yachts. And he doesn't do the whole hype and flex, but he's definitely one of the richest, most powerful people in crypto right now, running Bitmain. Really one of the centralized powers behind BTC. Pretty big news. Your Twitter feed says the ETF was declined. Okay, where do we talk about that? How do I see that? I'm looking up ELF, now called ETFs. ETF is now ELF. That's what I looked up. That makes sense, right? Breaking news. ELF. SEG rejected 7 ETF proposals according to some Twitter. What Twitter is that? Tell me about this Twitter. I'll go to that Twitter. Did you guys retweet that thread for David's AMA? That was pretty solid. That was a good thread. CoinDesk is reporting it. Is it? The SEC's rejected 7 ETFs. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You guys think this is going to be bad news for the market? We're going to lose some traction? You just now realize this is bad news? I think so. Oh, Crypto Catherine, you just tweeted it to me? Is it different than this one? I'll go look at it since you took the time. Security and Exchange Commission issued rejections to Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, proposals from both ProShares and Direxion. Man, the twin order published on August 22nd. Rejection came ahead of the previously reported deadlines arising from the SEC's public-facing approval process. Notably, the agency used the exact same reasoning and wording in both rejections. Okay, let's look at this wording. The Commission is disapproving this proposed rule change because, as discussed below, the exchange has not met its burden under the Exchange Act and Commission rules of practice to demonstrate that its proposal is consistent with the requirements of the Exchange Act, in particular the requirement that a national security exchange rule is designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. So, it's the same for both. It's the same message for both. So the fact that they cannot necessarily prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. So in both instances, the SEC stresses that it emphasizes its disapproval does not rest on an evaluation of whether Bitcoin or blockchain technology has utility or value. The rejection comes weeks after the SEC Commission's completed a review on the proposed ETF by the Winklevoss twins. Kind of what we thought was going to happen. Probably going to see another slip. As expected, right? Yep, the elves. Yeah, they're not handing out elves to anybody. They're not handing out those elves to anybody. This girl, Jim, that you found, that's kind of funny. So the SEC just rejected 7 ETF proposals. In my opinion, Satoshi created Bitcoin so that we don't get governance, so we don't need governance or regulation. It gives people the ability to detach themselves from the antiquated fiat system and claim much-needed individual sovereignty. That's interesting to look at. That's interesting to look at. And that's kind of one of the paradoxes of this movement, the paradox of this system, right? What's happening with this? So, there we go. Brad's AMA and the SEC denies ETFs. That's rough. That's rough. How low will it go? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to see people kind of not picking up on what's happening. Guys. So many Bitcoin maximalists still. So many Bitcoin maximalists still that are just not really picking up on what they're putting down, right? It's pretty obvious. None of those little kids are going to get their elves. We're waiting for Santa Claus to let the toys out of the factory, and we're pretty much thinking that we're going to see a little bit more blood in the streets. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, exactly. No, Jack Levy's right. When Backed wants in, it'll be ready for him. It'll be ready for him. Totally. I love elves too. I love elves too. I mean, it's all about the elf. I think gold didn't take off until it got elves. Gold, nobody even knew what gold was until it got elves. So, looking at elves and looking at the Brad AMA, that was a quality AMA. Good questions, good answers. It looks like he's still very optimistic and on point. He's usually just so on point. You know, it's not surprising that he delivered so well. Brad's pretty good at the public speaking, and he knows he's knowledgeable about this, their network and their systems. So that's about all we're going to do. Thanks for joining us for the Brad AMA. I have a video coming out later that's basically called Ripple Jesus, XRP Jesus. That's right. And I have another, I have a short skit that I'm putting up right after this. It's basically the JFK skit and the Ripple, let's not call it Ripple anymore skit. Maybe you guys can watch it. Let's watch this really quick and then we'll call it. So I'm putting this up on YouTube pretty much just because Spread the Standard Sean said he wanted me to. Uh-oh. There we go. And you know what? I said, okay. So I'm putting this up. This is a short, and I'm using it in my next edit. I'm putting this short up for you guys to have fun or watch.
And as we all agree, XRP is one of the most undervalued cryptocurrencies. And so, my fellow Ripplers, ask not what your Ripple can do for you. Ask what you can do for your Ripple.
Hey guys, you can't call it Ripple anymore, remember? We're calling it XRP now. Yes, this is
Okay,
all we're doing.
That's it. That's the clip. I'm going to put that on YouTube, and it's just going to be that one clip for people to watch or share. That clip will be in my next edit, but Spread the Standard Sean said he wanted just that clip by itself, so there you go. I'm going to put it up. Farewell, farewell. Thanks for joining us for the Brad AMA. Elves declined. Elves rejected. SEC says no to elves. Waiting for Santa Claus. Waiting for the toys out of the factory. And watch out for the full edit coming out later today. XRP Jesus Ripple Network update. What's happening? Where are we headed? Farewell. I appreciate you all. You're beautiful and amazing. You're beautiful and amazing. I'll see you next time. Adios. 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 I know. It's rough. I know. But don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow.